Good morning, everyone. I'm Melanie Osman with the Lansing Journal, and I'm here with managing editor Josh Bootsma, but he's a little busy right now.
I
Josh,
am.
what are you doing?
I'm at about 300 feet, Melanie. I'm actually flying the Lansing Journal's drone right now.
Oh.
Here, we'll show you what I'm seeing right now.
Where are you?
I am not too far from here, but you can see on your screen that's TF South that I'm flying towards now. You can see the Lansing water tower over there on the left side. I'm flying over Lansing. It's a nice day to do that.
It is a nice day to do that. So we wanted to show you kind of behind the scenes what goes into some of the visuals that the Lansing Journal provides when we're doing certain stories. I think it was about a year ago, a little more than a year ago, that Josh said, we really need a drone. Was there a specific story that you were working on or something that made you think a drone would be helpful?
Right. Yeah, that's a good question. I think we're over Erfurt Park now, by the way, you can see. We'll start coming back here to this area so we can show you what the drone actually looks like. I think that really it was going to events and feeling like, how do we capture the scope of something? How do we capture the scope of the crowd that's here? How do we capture, like a building, it's easy to take four photos of different sides of the building, but you step back and get a little higher, then you can see that the building is nestled in a neighborhood or something like that. So we had just had enough conversations of kind of just sharing as partners, oh man, it's really hard to get photos at a place like this or something, that it kind of got us thinking, well, maybe a drone is something that we should look at.
So then you did some research. There's probably a million drones out there, and they all have different benefits and different things you have to be aware of. Which one did you end up with?
So I'm using the DJI Mini 2 right now. There are a lot of good options, you're right. This one is kind of the most novice-friendly, shall we say, user-friendly, and it's really quite, you can probably hear it now above us. If you look,
because some drones actually require a pilot's license, right?
That's right. So some of them do. This is not. This is meant for consumers to take photos, to take videos like we're doing. If we turn around right here, just look up, we can wave right into the sun. So yeah, it's really, and it's been easy to learn. So it's been overall good. So I'm going to make things a little bit noisy here as I land it down in front of us. Woo! Try to get it in the camera here. There he
wow!
Is right there, flying around.
Nice maneuvering.
It's kind of rotating a little bit. Here, we can have the cameras look at each other. How about that? And then we'll get us in there too. Hello. All right, we'll land it now.
Very cool.
Yeah. This little guy is fun. I'll show it to you here. It's quite small. So it weighs 249 grams, which it's very small. It feels like you're holding a baseball in your hand or even less than that. There's just some propellers on there. There's that little camera on the front, and that's where all the magic happens. So it's really a fun little machine.
And you've used it for more than just events. I think you've used it at different sports events.
Yeah.
It's a nice way to get a shot of the whole field.
Right. When we first got it, I brought it to the TF South, some football games, and that was fun. I can include some videos of some touchdowns that I wasn't at that first game, I don't think, but getting the touchdown from above is kind of cool, and just some nice perspective shots of the field, and Friday Night Lights is a really cool thing for the drone. I think the first time that I used it was actually at Thornton Township. I just was taking a photo of the building just to kind of test it out. And I definitely learned a lot on that first run. I was standing like I am now, and there was a tree behind me that I didn't realize there was a tree so close behind me. And so I launched it in front of me, and I went up to take a photo, and I was like, oh, I should probably, get back to get a little broader perspective. And I took the photo and I looked, and the drone was like, there was this little alcove of the tree where there weren't any leaves, and that's where the drone was. It was like in the middle of the tree, and I was just so lucky. So now when I go up, I'm always looking for power lines, for trees, for anything that could potentially snag the drone. So it's been a learning curve.
So you already had some photography experience, but using a drone to take photos requires some different skills that you had to master.
It's so, when you're taking photos, you're essentially on two planes, right? You're on the east-west plane when you're just yourself. I mean, you can bend down, you can, try to step on a chair to get different angles, but with the drone, you really have, it's truly a three-dimensional kind of experience. So should I be on the left side or the right side? Should I be higher? Should I go a little lower to get that kind of long perspective shot? So yeah, that's definitely one of it. And also the fact that you're flying the camera. So not only do you have to compose the shot well and make sure it looks good, but you also have to actually fly the camera to the place where you need to go, which requires some skill, but as I said, this one was easier to learn.
So you're shooting while driving.
Exactly. Yes. Yep, you're shooting video while you're driving. Exactly.
Okay. And one story that I particularly remember that the drone was very helpful for was Marlene Cook's story about the Laban house.
That's right.
Which is difficult to see from street level. And that was
Right.
kind of the point we wanted to make in that story. This building still exists. It's part of Lansing history, but a lot of people don't notice it because it's surrounded by other businesses. So you took the drone out and showed that house with all of the businesses built around it, and that was really eye-opening for me.
Yeah, that was a really good example of being able to get the perspective that really was helpful, because you can see that house is just looks like it's plopped in the middle of that retail area, and you wouldn't get that perspective otherwise. Some other stories that I think were really helpful for it. Sometime back, there's been talk of starting the new rehabilitation of the Lansing levee, and they're going to do some work on that in the coming years. And being able to get above and taking a photo and putting some graphics on there and labeling, like, here's the Lansing levee, here's the little Calumet River, here's what people are actually referring to when they talk about that. That kind of thing is really valuable. And that also occurred in the Paragon Freight story. So we can link to that below. There's lots of, you can read lots about the Paragon Freight story in Lansing. But long and short of it is there was some questions about a trucking company coming to a property that was right next to some residential properties. Right. And so you really don't get that perspective of how close they are until you get up and you take a photo and then you label it, here's Paragon Freight, here's the residences. You can see there's just a fence and they're very close together. True. So those kind of things were really helpful. More recently, Katie Arvia wrote a story about the Munster train station that's going to be coming to the South Shoreline. It's going to come down south from where the South Shoreline travels, and there's going to be a stop in Munster. And I was able to, using her information, using some things online that I found, different renderings, I was able to get a drone photo, create some graphics that overlaid that photo that really kind of tell the story of where the train station is going to be. And really, there are some stories where pictures aren't worth 1,000 words, but in some stories they definitely are. And that is a good example of one where it is.
Yeah. And that makes the point that the reason the Lansing Journal invests in special equipment like this is so that information becomes clearer. Our goal is always to provide clear information to help people understand the things that we're talking about. And so a drone helps with that, and that's why we were willing to take on that expense.
Right. It's been very helpful, and it really has, as far as our goal of keeping people informed and connected, I think just the information that you get from seeing something from a new perspective, like we talk about that a lot metaphorically kind of, but literally seeing this building, seeing where the Starbucks is going to go, seeing all these different things, it really does help keep people informed in that way. And so it's been a good tool.
So thank you for thinking of that, and thank you for taking the time to learn how to use it well, and for using it in such a variety of stories to help keep our readers informed.
Absolutely. It's been a privilege, and I'm not going to lie, it's been a lot of fun, too.
That's a bonus.
Yep, it is a bonus. So we're out here. It's been fun just to show off the drone a little bit, and thanks for watching this week.
Have a good week, everyone.